Everyone has their favorite time period for gaming. 2001 to 2006. There was something so special about the sixth generation of gaming. Those years of gaming will always be sacred to me, being talked about at lunchtime or the playground after school, settling arguments, or just for bragging rights over your other friends. It really was the last generation of games that focused on 4-player split screen and the couch coop experience. Online gaming wasn't foolproof or widely available yet. You and some other friends would have to bring 2 to 4 consoles and link them up if you want a full lobby experience. Once upon a time, video games used to come with thick, complete manuals teaching you the controls or having cool illustrations and character backgrounds. There were still cheat codes and Game Shark for games, no paying money to unlock stuff early or get infinite ammo and health. Hell, there were even level skips in some games. Modern games are still fun, but there's nothing like going back and playing the classics that gave you joy for years. There is one problem though. A lot of your old favorites are still trapped on a console they originally came out on. There is no easy, legal way to access them unless you still have your original console and games. Welcome to Consigned to Oblivion, the series where we go through video games that are still trapped on the console they released on. Those games deserve better, and so do you. Today we're going to go over some games that are still trapped on the original Xbox that play and hold up well. Most people would have played Tony Hawk 2 already and not have ever picked up the Xbox version by the time 2X came out. This port came in a little under the radar, especially with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 coming out the month before for PS2. Tony Hawk 2X not only had every level from the first 2 games combined, but also had 5 more exclusive levels to this port. Also included was extra items for Create a Park, and you could create a female skater now. The graphics and Xbox scaling options make this game still look great for a 2001 title with a smooth 60 frames per second. The soundtrack, along with the cries of your skater bailing a big spot, are still as smooth as ever. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 was already great, but this port is the best version we had until its third attempt at remake in 2020, and even then, there was something special about those early Tony Hawk games. Some people say Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 was their favorite. Some people say Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 was the best one in the series. And you wanna know what? There could be an argument for either one of those to be right. I enjoy all of the games in the series, but for me personally, Tony Hawk 2X, or X2, whatever you want to call it, will always be my favorite one. Tony Hawk 2X only launched for the original Xbox. It is still playable on Xbox 360 at least. The Xbox 360 port has some minor graphical issues and can freeze up if you're trying to do its 8-player system link. PlayStation had Tekken. Nintendo had Super Smash Bros. Melee, but what did Xbox bring to the fighting game genre? Answer: Teofane. Released in 2003, Teofane was a 3D fighter exclusive to the original Xbox. Designed by Mortal Kombat co-creator John Tobias, he went all in with a heavy focus on intensity and realism. I actually never owned the full game back then. I remember putting in countless hours practicing on the Xbox demo disc that had Teofane on it. We really are spoiled with good graphics for the fighting game genre nowadays, but back in 2003, Teofane's graphics and Dolby Digital 5.1 output was a sight to behold on your entertainment center. The impacts and damage you could do to the stages you fought on was super impressive. It was more than just a part of the level breaking through to another floor or area. It showed signs that a fight really went down there and someone got their ass beat. Depending on the level you were on, you could interact with it by swinging off poles, jumping off walls, or putting someone's head through an arcade machine. The damage apparent on fighters in between rounds was also a nice touch, making it look like you went through hell. Now I know what you guys are all thinking. Hey Pip, this looks just like Killer Instinct. Does it play like it? And I would say yeah, it plays and really does feel like Killer Instinct. With the way the rounds work with the HP going down and getting 3 bars of HP, to the weird diverse characters, lore, and weird stuff they got going on. Teofane never received any sequels and has not been ported to any other console. It's still trapped on the original Xbox with no remaster or port in sight. When you think back to the original Xbox and its racing games, Project Gotham Racing and Sega GT are usually the ones that come to mind first, but there is a quirky racing game that calls the original Xbox its home, with Quantum Redshift. Released in 2002, this F-Zero/Star Wars pod racing hybrid attempted to give Xbox its own first-party standout racing game. The graphics for each one of the 16 tracks looks amazing whether you are racing in first or third person. Water and rain particles add that extra realism. Character models, while hilariously themed, hold up fine. Quantum Redshift had a side story/rivalry with some of the racers on different tracks, but ultimately didn't add anything extra as they talked like Sims in between races, not being able to understand a thing. Every racer has the same access to weapons and shields. The power-ups on the field would restore or buff them. Because of that, each racer really doesn't feel too different to use, unfortunately. Quantum Redshift did not sell well and was not initially received well, and I feel it's because the game is honestly just more fun playing in single player compared to 4-player split screen. A 5-player max for the tracks did not help the case either. Even so, I still believe this game is unique enough to pick up and jump into for some fun, mindless, high-speed power slide racing. Quantum Redshift is still trapped on the original Xbox and is not playable on any other console or PC as of this recording. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I really was trying to get this one out sooner, and it was supposed to be a little bit longer, but, you know, life gets in the way. Comment down below, let me know what some of your guys' favorite games are that are still trapped on old systems. See you guys next time.